we can stay away from some places. We can avoid reading some things, and we can avoid some evil influences to keep ourselves pure. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that we can avoid. And one I would love to avoid. But I'm married. Walmart. You can go to Walmart. You don't have to buy a Playboy magazine. And you don't have to buy a Far Side either. Because I love this website. It goes to it says Walmart people. I don't believe we have any Walmart people in our midst. Do you? Oh no, Walmart people. All right. So, but there are some things, some places we can stay away from. It, Walmart is, if you want to get a deal on stuff, and I keep telling my wife, I say, you can right up here, right up the street, save gas. Avoid the risk of exposure on the highway and the streets. And go up here and shop. She said, "What it costs more?" I said, "You figure out how much all your gas is costing, the exposure you're putting yourself. Is it safer to go to the corner market?" Okay, I know they're higher. Okay, I don't have any investments in corner market, but I also would rather spend $2 or $3 more on my coffee. You know how much a big old bag of community dark roast coffee is now? $25 in corner market. I think it's what, 21 or so at Walmart. But can you believe that? Makes you want to stop drinking coffee, doesn't it? No. Okay, any comments? Okay, where were we? Helping ourselves, verse 21. This is what we understand Jesus to be teaching in these verses? Yes. Okay. He was not saying for us to literally put out our eye or cut off our hand. Note, these instructions following the statement about the adultery through lustful looks, verse 31 and 32. It has been said that whosoever shall put away his wife, let her give a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, save for the cause of fornication, causes her to commit adultery. And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committeth adultery. So, okay, 31, 30. Jesus continues the subject of adultery, pointing out that many in his day had not understood God's plan for marriage. For men were putting away their wives and were marrying another at will, seemingly not realizing that they were committing adultery. Jesus uses the word fornication to give as an exception, but the word in the verse means more than immorality among unmarried people. Vine in his expository, in his dictionary, says in Matthew 5 and 32 and 19 and 9, it stands for, which includes adultery. Nelson's Illustrated Bible says the New Testament often uses the term in the general sense for any unchastity. So there are some folks that, the world. I don't know what the marriage rates are in America now. I mean, I don't know if they're any better or worse. Are they? I don't know. I can tell you who can know. What's the divorce rate in America? Yeah.
Approximately 40% to 50% of first marriages in the U.S. end in divorce.
40 to 50%. 40 to 50% end in divorce. How far away is that from the Bible teaches? You can't get sound? Y'all get sound? We got it? Okay, thank the Lord. I think. Okay, so with the divorce rate so high, things are kind of stacked against us, If we look out in the world, my goodness, half the people that get married end in divorce. That's not the way the Bible intended it to be. What he said here earlier, maybe, and he may say it again, that it was like Adam and Eve. And God created them as Adam and Eve till they die. And that's the oath we take in marriage, isn't it? Doesn't it say something about until death do us part? Does it say that? I told Brother Sanford that there's one part of that marriage vow you need to emphasize on when you're wedding. You know, performing a wedding. I said, you know that part that says in sickness and in health? Emphasize on that, you know. Because it's easy for us to say, till death do us part, or in sickness and health. But when it comes time to actually play that out, then it's easy to say, but the saints, the saved, even sinners can do that. Sinners could be faithful to their spouses. So how much more with the saints of God? So that's what I signed up for. Till death do us part, in sickness and in health. And so, all right, comments? Okay. His plan was that to be for life. What therefore God has joined together, let no man put asunder. Verses. Did we read that, Matthew 9? No. We did not read it? Well, let's read it. Did I flip pages for some reason? Okay. Matthew 9 and Matthew 19, 3 and 6. My mind is going all over the place. I need to stick it to Matthew 9, 3. Matthew 19, 3 and 6. Okay. The Pharisees also came to him, tempting him, and saying unto him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? And he answered and said unto them, have you not read that he which made them in the beginning made them male and female? And he said, for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they twain shall be one. How far are we supposed to go? 6. Wherefore there are no more twain or two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man put asunder. Okay? So then the Pharisees said, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement? And Jesus replied, because of the hardness of your hearts. From the beginning it was not so. Then Jesus sets forth and taught, not as the rabbis taught, not as Moses taught, but as he taught. Wherefore, and this is the law. This is the law today. Okay? Whosoever shall put away his wife, except for it be for fornication or moral uncleanness, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. True Christians shall never be unfaithful one to another, and thus will never give cause for divorce. So, there are some people today that talk once you're married to somebody, you can never be remarried. Okay, you remember that? Divorce and remarriage? But they somehow they leave out the except for. And that's the words that Jesus said, except it be for fornication. So to put away for divorce. So I don't know if they still do it or not, but I remember when we were in Columbia, I remember some congregation or somewhere that if a man and woman come and were saved, they had to leave each other and go back to their original couple. So, because the way they taught, that church organization taught that once you're married to that person, you can never be divorced. And so the only way they could be right was to leave the one they were with and go back to the other. Babylon is confusion, right? Amen. Oh my, it's crazy. Any comments? Jesus sets forth. We read that, didn't we? Where are we, Sister Lisa? Conclusion. Thank the Lord. I hadn't looked at the clock to see where we are. We're going to have to get some more comments here. Conclusion from Matthew Henry's commentary on Matthew 5 and 28. This command forbids not only the acts of fornication or adultery, but also all appetites to them. all lusting after forbidden objects. This is the beginning of sin, lust conceiving. James 1:15. It is a bad step towards sin, and where the lust is dwelt upon and approved, and wanton desire is rolled under the tongue as a sweet morsel, it is the commission of the sin. As far as the heart can do it, there wants nothing but a convenient opportunity for the sin itself. His writing is a little difficult for me to understand, but he really makes that well once you look on something. And he says, as wanton desire is rolled under the tongue as a sweet morsel. That describes it pretty good, doesn't it? So, or pretty bad, whichever one. But that the heart is already committed to act in their mind. So, in its heart. And so sin is conceived. Adultery is a great curse in our land today, but there is another way people can and do commit adultery that is sinful. In various scriptures in the Old Testament, God accuses Israel of adultery, whoredom, and fornication, not because of literal adultery, but because of their unfaithfulness to Him. Israel was married to God, and when they turned from Him to idols, they were guilty of spiritual whoredom. We find the same truth expressed in the book of Revelation. Let the bride of Christ be faithful to her husband and never allow her affections to go out to another. So he's talking about knowing the truth and being a member of the Church of God, the bride of Christ. We are married to Jesus. So and then he talks about these, the word talks about these other religious organizations that are not truly following Christ. He speaks of them as harlots. So we don't want to go join ourselves to someone who's not teaching the truth. We need to understand and realize that not only is, like he said here, he pointed out, is there a physical adultery, but it can also be in a spiritual sense too. So that's where I didn't realize it when I went down to the altar to be saved. I didn't realize I was becoming a bride, the part of the bride of Christ, and being married to Christ. But it didn't take long to learn. The preaching of the word taught us that the false religion is harlot, Babylon the Great and her harlot daughters. I mean, we've got Babylon the Great pretty close. And the harlots all around us, all around us. Beckoning, come over here, come over here. You don't have to be that strict. God loves you. You don't have to do all that stuff they're teaching down there at the Church of God. Oh my, if they would just sit down and openly hearted read the Word of God, they would have a stronger sense of what God wants for us. Now, without a regenerated heart, they cannot understand all of it. They can't get the fullness of it. But you can get enough to know what God requires. You can get a hint of it anyway to know where you're at is not right? All right. Comments? We're about ready for that first bell, right? For your consideration, what is God's plan for marriage? Once and done? I like that. God's plan for marriage is once and done. That's it. I'm sold out. I'm done. No more. That's right. That's the plan. That's the plan. And how good would it be if we could everyone live that way, you know? So Sue and I have been married now. This is going on 52 years, and so it doesn't seem that. It doesn't seem that way, you know? And so I appreciate God's blessings. The first couple of years we weren't saved, and then when I got saved, I realized, and it made me help me understand how precious a good wife is. Okay, and the women could say that too about their husbands, right? But the world has got it all mixed up. It's so upside down. What is, oh, look here, number 2 for our consideration. What is God's attitude toward the sin of homosexuality? Oh, totally wrong. Totally wrong. What's he say? He said that because they love not the truth, he gave them over to what kind of mind? Reprobate mind. That they should, how did he say it? Void of judgment. And what was the rest of it? They would believe a lie and be damned, yeah. So, and they would burn in their lust one to another, men toward men. Oh, my. He talking. You get out in the street and read that right now. Today, you'd have to get a lot of trouble, would you? Oh, my goodness. Right. He said he made Eve. God made Adam and Eve. He made Eve for Adam, and he didn't say what was it? Adam and Steve. That's right. God didn't say, okay, I'm going to make Adam a partner here. It's going to be Steve, right? Oh, no. Yeah, that's right. God's attitude toward sin of homosexuality is, it's sin. It's sin. Okay. Did God ever intend for man to have more than one wife at a time? No. Huh? Sarah and Abraham, yeah. You know, at the risk of getting in trouble here, why would a man want more than one wife? One is really good. Pleasant life. Loving. And mean as a snake. No, I appreciate my wife. I really do. So really, though, really. And you know, you read about these people up in Massachusetts, up in the Minnesota, the Somalis, and people in the Islam and things like that, and they have multiple families, and then they're all on the government draw. Well, maybe not all of them, just 99%, right? Billions of dollars of our tax dollars being spent, being taken away from us by people who take advantage of, live in sin and take advantage of our government. Why did Moses give the law of divorcement? Because of the hardness of man's heart. So he didn't intend it to be that way. But you know what? That was one of the things, the way God made us. He made us with the ability to choose our ways, whether it would be right or wrong, to choose our ways. And so he puts it in our lap. Okay, you're going to have to choose the way to go, okay? So, but when we're saved, he gives us grace to where we don't have to commit these things. We don't have to yield to these things in the sins of the world, whether it be adultery or stealing or anything. And you can lust after another person's riches, you know. Oh, I wish I was rich as this guy or that guy. Why do they have so much money? They don't need that kind of money. You know, my wife follows the baseball Dodgers, and Shohei Ohtani got a contract for 10 years for $700 million. He deferred it, though. He only gets $70 million a year for 10 years. How can he live on that? Poor guy. No. It boggles my mind. How could you spend $70 million a year? How could you do that? Huh? Somebody would say, I'd try. I'd try. Yeah, you can do a lot of philanthropy and stuff. I mean, you can help a lot of people, and I understand he does too. But you know, a lot of those guys do spend their money on other people. Of course, they got so much they can afford it without even missing it. You know, so why did Moses give the law of divorcement? Because of the hardness of man's heart. Will two Christians ever divorce? Not if they stay Christians. Oh no, that's right. Because why? Because of the grace of God which brings salvation, has taught us how to live this life and how to be satisfied in this life with what we have, and to be happy. It's what keeps us faithful. Faithful. Oh, yeah. That's the big deal there, being faithful. All right, any other comments? All right. We got close as we could to running the clock down, so appreciate y'all. I think, I don't know who's, this is my last, I just had the last January. This is the last Sunday in January. Who's got it next? You got it? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Be here next Sunday and find out who has a Sunday school lesson. I appreciate y'all.